Yes guys, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Conan and today is, I believe, day 3 of here in Denver, Colorado, currently in a warehouse, so let's get into it. So in my last video, I didn't really mention precisely what I did previously to coming here. So obviously while I'm here right now, I'm just here at the warehouse just helping them package orders and stuff. But previously when I was living at home, I was mainly just helping them with like their social media. So I was running their main page and then their crew page and just helping answering DMs, posting, a bunch of customer service and all that type of stuff. Basically right now just taking a break from packaging orders, and today, or this entire week specifically, has actually been like my entire deload week, because especially when you're traveling, like it can be very difficult to like, number one, have access to a gym or find a gym, and number two, like actually like being on track with everything. So I think when you're on vacation or when you're on the road or when you're traveling or etc, I think it's a great time to like utilize deload weeks, because it'll wash away most of your fatigue, and after that deload week is done and you're back on track, you can get back to your normal accumulation phase. Also, I must say, this drink right here, tropical mango flavor, is delicious. I think it's much better than the Ultra Fiesta by Monster, which is another mango flavor, but this stuff right here, it slaps, let me tell you. If you like mango flavored things, this is the one for you. Alright, so let's talk about deload weeks. Now before I do talk about this topic, I do want to give a quick mention to Dr. Mike Israetel from Renaissance Periodization. Pretty much all the information I'm about to tell you guys I got from him. So if you guys are curious about learning more about this type of stuff, or training or hypertrophy training in general, definitely highly recommend checking out his channel. He puts so much informational stuff out there. It is insane. And what's even better is that it is all for free. So please give him all the credit. Everything I learned, I got from him. So first things first, what are deload weeks? Deload weeks are basically an entire week where you pretty much just train not hard at all. Like it's supposed to be like a week where you pretty much get rid of most of your fatigue, because after a couple of weeks and months of hard training, usually around 4 to 8 weeks of pretty hard progressive training, you'll start to accumulate a lot of fatigue, and there comes a point where your fatigue is so high that progressing is simply not possible anymore. Like I'm sure you guys have experienced this before. After training very hard for a couple of weeks and months, your fatigue is just so high that like you just can't add an extra rep anymore. Like on the bench press, if you progressively overload and you added an extra rep week after week, after about 4 to 8 weeks, you may notice that you can't get an extra rep anymore, or you can't add 5 extra pounds to the bar anymore, or you can't add an extra set anymore. And if that's the same thing with other exercises for your back, for your legs, for your chest, for your arms, for your triceps, etc, if that's the case for most of your muscle groups, it may be time to take a deload week, because your fatigue is simply too high to keep progressing. So again, when you're on vacation or when you're on the go, this is a great time to utilize deload weeks, because like I said in the beginning of today's video, when you're traveling and stuff, you may not have access to a gym, or you may not have access to proper nutrition, or everything just may not be on point, right? And so instead of stressing over, oh, I can't make it to the gym today, what do I do? Or oh, my macros weren't on point today, or oh, my sleep was off. And instead of having to worry about all of that, I highly encourage you guys, especially if you train hard regularly and you don't skip most of your training sessions, when you're on vacation, incorporating deload weeks is definitely highly recommended. And a couple other signs of when you may have to deload is, number one, you just feel very sluggish in the gym. Like your motivation decreases, you're not really looking forward to working out anymore, your excitement is gone, your pumps are not as good anymore. You may notice that it takes a lot of like just the volume in general to just get a good pump. And you may notice that you're very unsensitive to volume, so it may take you, instead of like 2 sets to get a good chest pump, it may take you like 5 or 6 sets to get the same similar pump. So that means that you're very unsensitive to volume. So again, that's a great kind of sign for you to take a deload week, get rid of most of the fatigue. And then what's so good about after a deload week is that after you're done with it, you're so sensitive to volume now, where you don't need those 5 sets now to get a good chest pump. You may only need 2 or 3 sets now to get a good chest pump. And another sign is, and I mentioned this previously, but when you start to underperform, so let's say for example last week you did 5 sets of 8 reps on the bench press, but this week with the same weight you did 5 6 of 7 6 6 5 reps, obviously that is underperforming. And unless your goal is to progressively underload and get weaker week after week, that is a good sign for you to just cut it off, stop what you're doing, and take a deload week. Alright guys, mid-workout thoughts. It doesn't even seem like I'm working out right now. Like this is literally like, feels like a warm-up to me, but deloads are absolutely crucial. So think of it as like 1 step backward in order to take 2 steps forward. So yeah, let the finisher up and then we'll be done. Because I truly wish that we could just keep progressing week after week, month after month, year after year. but that simply is not the case, because if that were the case, we'd all be bench pressing 1,000 pounds by now, right? So obviously fatigue will catch up to everyone. We're not robots, we're not machines, we're all human. And yeah, obviously there's this thing called fatigue, and it is very annoying, I know it is, but it happens. It's part of training, it's part of life. And again, in order to wash that fatigue away, not all of it, but most of it, incorporating deload weeks are highly beneficial. Okay, so now that we've kind of dissected what deload weeks are and how to know when to take a deload week and know if deload weeks are appropriate for you, let's actually talk about how to deload week, like what you actually do during a deload week. You just take the entire week off and do nothing, or do you have to like do something in a training session? Well, let's talk about it now. So I mean, first of all, before I do talk about this, again, if you're on vacation or if you're constantly on the go or you're just too stressed out, during a deload week, you don't have to necessarily do what I'm about to tell you. You can literally just take the entire week off and then the week after go back to your normal training program. That is completely fine. But if you do have access to a gym, or if you do still want to go to the gym during your deload week, this is what he recommends. So on the first week of your deload week, so let's say you train 6 days a week. So for the first half, so days 1, 2, and 3, you're basically going to do half of the planned sets. So let's say, for example, you were doing 4 sets on the last week of your accumulation phase. On your deload week, it is only going to be 2 sets. And then you're going to cut your reps in half as well. So let's say, for example, on the last week of your accumulation phase, you did 100 pounds for 4 sets of 8 reps. On the first half of your deload week, you're still going to do that 100 pounds. You're only going to cut the sets and reps in half. So instead of doing 4 sets of 8, you're now going to do 2 sets of 4 with 100 pounds. Now, in the second week of your deload week, so let's say, for example, day 3, day 4, day 5, and day 6, everything you're pretty much going to cut in half. So again, the reps, the sets, but also the load this time as well. So again, using the previous example, you did 100 pounds for 4 sets of 8 reps on the last week of your accumulation phase. For the second half of your deload week, you're going to cut the reps, sets, and load in half. So now you're going to do 2 sets of 4 reps using only 50 pounds. And then what you may notice is that this is incredibly easy. Like, it is super easy. It is almost like embarrassing to do this at the gym, and that is the entire point. Deload weeks aren't supposed to be hard on you. You're not supposed to like come out of a deload week saying like, oh, I just hit a PR on the bench press. Like, no, like that is not, you don't do that during your deload week, because if you did like PR or like do something like that during your deload week, it simply was not a deload week, and you would not have washed away most of your fatigue. Again, deload weeks are supposed to be very easy, and they're supposed to be like almost embarrassing. If you come away from your deload week feeling sore and feeling pumped up, you probably did a bit too much, so that's a good kind of gauge. You don't want to get a super good pump, and you definitely don't want to wake up sore the next day. So now that you've successfully done your deload week, it is time to go back on track again. Most of your fatigue will have washed away, and you're ready to do another productive mesocycle. So again, this can last anywhere from about 4 to 8 weeks, and I don't want to talk specifically about how to set up your mesocycle. I'll actually go over this in my next video, because I will myself go through another productive mesocycle, and I'll explain exactly how I do this in my next video. Alrighty guys, we have made it back home here in Houston, Texas. The trip was absolutely amazing. I ended up staying there a bit longer because I needed a bit more help, so I was there from Sunday until pretty much Saturday, and today is Sunday again. So yeah, pretty much an entire week. I had an absolute blast. Really cool meeting everyone there and just being part of the Cloud Power team. I'm just beyond grateful to be part of it. And yeah, a lot of you guys were a bit confused in my last video when I said, oh, my dream job, and I was literally just working at a warehouse. Like, my dream job isn't to work like in a warehouse. Like that wasn't like the point of the video. Even my parents called me after the video. They're like, so your dream job is working at a warehouse and doing manual labor? Like, no, it's not, but it's just the entire process, like just simply working for the company. Like, I probably over exaggerated saying it was my dream job. Like, I was just really excited, to be honest, but it is a very cool job in my opinion. And again, it's not just working at the warehouse and packaging orders. It is so much more than that. It's pretty much just like everything. Again, customer service, working with the products, like helping make the products, packaging products, shipping everything. It's everything, right? Like, it's not just one specific thing. There's a whole lot of things. So when people ask me what I actually specifically do, it's really hard to like put an exact kind of like title under it, because like it's pretty much everything, right? Like, it's so hard to like say specifically my job is this. Like, no, it's more than just this. It's this, that, like it's so much, right? So hopefully that kind of makes sense to you guys. But yeah, I don't want you guys thinking that, oh, my dream job is like manual labor and like working at a warehouse for like 12 hours a day. Like, I mean, like that part wasn't really that fun, to be honest, but like everything else was extremely fun. Now basically, as you guys know, I am a very picky eater, and what I mean by that is that I like to have my food on point, right? Like if you guys watch my 4 days of eating videos, you guys know that I like to cook my own food, measure my own food, know exactly what I'm putting into my body in order to fuel and function properly, right? However, when it comes to traveling, specifically on my last trip there in Denver, Colorado, my diet was definitely not on point. And I'll put some videos on the screen right over here, and I'm actually posted all these videos on my shorts and TikTok and Instagram as well. So if you guys do want to go check that out, definitely go do that. But basically my diet, as you guys can tell right now, was not really on point. I did not track a single thing, which honestly, low-key was actually really refreshing, because like simply not having to worry about, it's like, oh, what are the macros on this, or oh, does this fit into my calories? Like, no, I did none of that. And again, it was really refreshing not to like have to worry about that. This was actually the first time in like probably years where I haven't like worried about like what I put into my body, which sounds really weird, but like, I mean, I was just eating whatever, and like I felt really good. And what's funny is that I came back home yesterday and I weighed myself and I lost 2 pounds, which I thought was just really funny. But yeah, like I just kind of have this new kind of perspective on foods. Like obviously I'm gonna go back on track now. I'm gonna go back to like measuring stuff and like tracking everything, because I just like having the consistency and like the accuracy of like knowing what I put into my body. I just learned a lot about myself in terms of like whenever I'm on the go, like or traveling, like I don't have to necessarily worry about like, oh, is this the highest quality food, or oh, does this fit into my calories and macros, or oh, does this help me reach my dream physique goal and stuff like that. Like it's good to kind of switch off like that every now and then, I think, because constantly having to worry about these small little things can definitely add a lot of fatigue to not your body but just your mind. Like it can like actually like add fatigue because you're constantly thinking about this specific thing, and instead of having to worry about that, like just living life and just enjoying the moment and just enjoying your time with like the people there wherever you are, right? It's actually really good, and it's good to have like a good balance. Like I think it's very important to like kind of know when to turn on the switch, like the on and off switch, like know when to switch on when it comes to like tracking everything and measuring everything, and then also know when to switch it off. Because like for everyone out there, like you're not supposed to like track every single food every single day every single year. Like you're not supposed to. Like we should all have times where we just kind of switch off, we relax, we enjoy times with our friends and family. And it was really fun as well, because like I had a great time meeting everyone, talking to them, and just eating good food. Like I ate some really good food as well, and like it was a good time. And yeah, like a week after, like nothing really happened. My physique is still the same. My weight actually dropped, like I just mentioned, so nothing really changed. The only thing that changed is that I got a good break. I feel a lot better now mentally, and it's time to go back on track now. Very quickly guys, cooking up some chicken breast for the week. So the seasonings I use are some of this garlic salt. I literally add this to every single thing I eat. Like it is very good. Garlic salt, amazing. Plus I'll be adding some of this barbecue blend by Kinder. We got it in the pantry, I thought why not. So these two together sounds pretty good to me.
Best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself.
Taking deloads.
Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky.
So just like that, we are back on track with my favorite meal: potato, chicken, vegetables, and avocado on top. And one thing I forgot to mention is that during your deload week, obviously our goal isn't to gain muscle or lose body fat. Our goal is literally just to maintain. So when it comes to your diet on deload weeks, I encourage you guys to just stay at maintenance. So don't go in a surplus or don't go in a deficit, because when you're in a surplus, you'll obviously gain some excess fat. Whereas when you're in a deficit, you'll be at risk of losing muscle mass as well, and you don't want any of that. On a deload week, always just stay at maintenance calories. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole goal of the deload week. Calories will stay at maintenance for this week, and then after the deload week, you can go back to your regular planned calories. So if you were bulking, you can go back into a surplus, whereas if you were cutting, you can go back into a deficit. So yeah, I feel like in every single meal I eat, I have to show you guys a taste test. Even though I have tried this meal several times on my channel before, I just feel the need to like just taste this for you guys. So, oh, I just dropped a carrot. That's awkward. So, yes, here we go. Taste test for the 1 millionth time. I'm assuming this is gonna taste just as good as the first time. And it is, of course. I swear, that garlic salt is so good. It's like salty, no, it's like garlicky salt or salty garlic. Either of those two, it is very good. Highly recommend. Go try it out, and I'll see you guys soon.
'Cause I found my way.
Already is currently going on a walk, and I forgot how freaking hot it gets in Texas. Like, it seems like it's like a normal average day, right? But as soon as you step outside, it is just so humid. And the weather in Colorado, or in Denver specifically, just like the entire city in general, kind of reminded me of back at home in Vancouver, because it doesn't get like super hot, which I myself prefer. I don't like it when it's like this. Like, this is just like unbearable, to be honest. Like, as soon as I like kind of like start to like move a bit faster, like I'll be dripping in sweat immediately. So that is something I've noticed. But anyway, when it comes to deload weeks, I do still keep my step count goal the exact same. So usually it's around 10k steps. Usually it's a bit more, sometimes it's a bit less, but I always average like at least 10k steps. So that is pretty much gonna stay the exact same. It's gonna keep constant. So yeah, just 10k steps every single day on your deload week as well. Hey doggy! Currently working on my tan, because that is arguably one of, if not the most unappealing things about me, is my horrendous tan. Like, I'm probably the palest guy you'll ever meet. And on my walk here, I find this random dog who's just sniffing around. Not sure whose dog it is, but I ain't complaining. What's up? Whose dog are you? Whose dog are you? You just chilling? You just chilling? What you looking for? Random dog on my walk? You already know. Okay. Oh. Alrighty guys, just came back from the walk, and I have a weird feeling that this video is getting like very long. Not just long, but like long AF. Like, the AF is definitely part of the long part. I don't even know what I'm saying. Hopefully you guys took something out of this video and know how to like deload properly now. I definitely highly recommend it. It is definitely highly beneficial. Kind of view it as like taking one step backwards in order to take 2 steps forwards. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to go give this video a thumbs up. I would highly appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Oh, I feel so